The entire history of the Silk Road. Before oceans were crossed by massive ships, before continents were connected by wires and satellites, humanity had already built a global network. It was made not of steel or electricity, but of footsteps, hooves, and courage. Across deserts, mountains, and endless grasslands, a web of trade routes slowly formed over centuries. This network would come to be known as the Silk Road, not a single road, but thousands of journeys connecting the ancient world. Its story begins in the East. In ancient China, silk was a marvel, light, smooth, and impossibly fine. It was unlike anything seen elsewhere. It became a symbol of status and power, reserved for emperors and elites. For a long time, China guarded the secret of silk making, but the fabric itself began to travel. Merchants loaded precious silk onto caravans and set out westward, leaving the great cities of China behind. Their journeys would take them across some of the most dangerous landscapes on earth. They crossed the Samarkand Desert, a place so harsh that travelers said, "You go in, but you do not come out." Blistering heat, endless dunes, and scarce water made every step a risk. They climbed mountain passes where the air was thin and the paths were carved into cliffs. Snowstorms could strike without warning, and a single misstep could be fatal. Yet they continued, because beyond the dangers lay opportunity. At the crossroads of these routes, cities rose like islands in a sea of wilderness. Samarkand, Bokhara, and Kashgar became vibrant centers of exchange. Markets overflowed with silk, spices, metals, horses, and gems. People of different languages, beliefs, and cultures met face to face. The Silk Road was not only about goods. It was a highway of ideas. From India, Buddhist monks walked north and east along these routes, carrying teachings about suffering, compassion, and enlightenment. In distant lands, these ideas blended with local traditions, shaping new forms of art and belief. Later, Islam spread through trade and scholarship, moving across Central Asia and linking regions in shared faith. Christianity, too, traveled eastward in earlier centuries. Religions crossed borders just as easily as merchants did. Technology moved along these paths as well. Paper, first developed in China, journeyed west, transforming how knowledge could be preserved. Gunpowder, compasses, and printing techniques would follow in time, reshaping warfare, navigation, and communication. Empires understood the value of this network. The Persian empires controlled key sections, acting as bridges between East and West. The Roman Empire desired Eastern luxuries, while Chinese courts sought powerful horses from Central Asia. Trade tied their fortunes together, even when they never met directly. Then came the Mongols. From the vast steppes, Mongol armies surged outward under Genghis Khan. Their conquests were swift and devastating. Cities fell, and kingdoms crumbled. But under Mongol rule, something unexpected happened. For a time, much of the Silk Road fell under one authority. With strict laws and protection for merchants, travel became safer than it had ever been. This era, often called the Pax Mongolica, allowed trade, knowledge, and culture to flow across continents more freely than before. Yet connection carried danger. In the 14th century, disease traveled these same routes. The Black Death spread westward, devastating cities and killing millions. The network that united the world also revealed how vulnerable it was. Still, the Silk Road endured for centuries. It shaped cuisines, art, language, and belief. It proved that the ancient world was not isolated, but deeply interconnected. Gradually, the balance shifted. Sea routes became faster and more efficient. Ships could carry more goods than caravans crossing deserts. Trade patterns changed, and the great land routes slowly lost their central role. But the Silk Road had already done its work. It had linked civilizations, spread ideas, and reshaped history. Long before the modern age, it showed that humanity's story was shared. The Silk Road was the ancient world's first global network built by risk, curiosity, and the desire to reach beyond the horizon. And through it, the world became one.